All right, good morning. Today is Tuesday, January the 11th. I need for you to log into Schoology, and you are going to go to your course, whatever period that is, whether it's first, second, fourth, or fifth. Okay. Now, once you get logged into Schoology, you are going to go to your first period, second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period. Okay, you're going to scroll down. You are going to find third 9 weeks. You are going to log into week 2, January 10th through the 14th. Okay, today is Tuesday, January the 11th. We are going to do two things. We're going to do your ACAP bell ringer and your DGP. Now, the first thing that I want you to click on is your ACAP bell ringer. All right, the first thing that I want you to click on is your ACAP bell ringer. Tuesday. I'm not going to tell you again.
What did I do? I ain't even talk.
All right, we decided to set sail because the signs look auspicious for a good trip. Auspicious mostly nearly means, okay, you have to read the sentence and use context clues. They did set sail. Okay, so being they set sail, that means the conditions have to be what? Ambiguous, negative, positive, or unclear.
I don't even know what that means.
Ambiguous means not clear, unclear. Okay? The next question, number 2, you have a lot of a passage here to read, but the first thing we want to do when we are doing a test like this or a quiz like this is what?
Read the questions.
Read the question. We need to know what we're looking for. How does this list of people involved in the Harlem Renaissance support the description of the movement given earlier in the passage? Okay, how does this list of people involved in the Harlem Renaissance support the description of the movement given earlier in the passage? Now, the next thing I would do is I would read my answer choices and then I would go back and read my passage. Okay? But that is going to be the quickest way to come to a correct answer. All right? The next question, you have been assigned to write an essay for making an argument that more college scholarships should be made available for low-income high school students. Which of these statements would be most appropriate to include? All right, this is going to be a formal piece of writing. It has to be clear. It has to have formal language. That means you can't write as you text. It doesn't need to be ambiguous, meaning it doesn't need to be unclear. It needs to be straight to the point. Okay? Yeah. That would be a good one, Will. All right, on the next question. All right, so you are going to, I don't know how to.
Good job.
All right, I need to delete that question because. Shh, no, I'm not gonna do it with y'all. All right, the next question. What is the most likely reason the author suggests packing a sleep mask? All right, we read the question, read your choices, then go back and look in your paragraph and read it. All right, and that is the end of it. I want you to take your time. I want you to refresh your screen. Okay, because I did delete a question. All right, I have walked you through how to go about answering these questions. Okay? I deleted it. So there's nothing there to even answer.
She deleted it. She just said this. You already finished this? You can start it, but don't submit it.
Do we need to submit this?
Because I'm recording. Okay, I'm looking to see how many people need to
Retake it.
know how many people I'm waiting to submit.
It sure is. It is, little girl.
All right, Zoe. Brian, Landon, Kamori, Isaiah, or Braxton. Are y'all working on it? Okay. Get her.
Kamari.
No sweeping in class.
All right, I'm going to give you about 5 more minutes to get that submitted. And for those of you that have submitted it, you can go on to DGP 111.
Do we submit the DPP?
Don't submit it just yet.
What'd you say that it was in August or something?
Ambiguous, unclear. Ambiguous. All right, so on this DGP for today, okay, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let you finish your ACAP bell ringer, and then I will go over this in 5 minutes. Good job.
I made 100.
Shh.
What'd you make?
Y'all are getting better.
Uh-oh.
Will.
That's not
That's
special.
That's special.
Seven targets.
Raise your hand if you're still working on the ACAP bell ringer. Okay. All right, so for DGP today, all right, we have to label the parts of the sentence, okay? Now, I'm going to walk you through what to do. I am not giving you the answers, and we're not discussing it per se, okay? I want to know what you know. But I am going to walk you through the steps. So as I'm walking you through the steps, you should be dragging your answers to where they need to go, okay? All right, on Tuesday, the first things we need to do is figure out our subject and our predicate. We know that the subject of our sentence is discussing who the sentence is about, and it must always be a noun or a pronoun, right? How many times do we underline the subject of our sentence? Okay, I'm going to give you time to draw or to move up the line for your subject. Yes. Okay. The second thing you need to do is you need to draw or drag your line up for the predicate of your sentence. I don't want you to answer out loud. Okay? But I want you to be thinking about in your head, how many times do you underline the predicate of the sentence?
There's 2 lines.
You underline the subject.
Yeah, we know that, but like.
You underline the predicate.
Yeah, but
Okay? No. There is clearly 1 line, 2 lines.
I know, but there's 2 boxes right here. How do you know which one?
The bottom row.
You're confusing me.
These lines go on the bottom row. Okay? You're going to underline your subject, underline your predicate, and this goes on the bottom row here. All right? Now, I want you to identify the simple subject of the sentence. You know that that is going to go within the complete subject, or that is going to be found within the complete subject. Okay? The subject of a sentence will always be a noun or a pronoun. Now, the next thing after you do that is you need to figure out your verb. Is it transitive or intransitive? You determine whether or not your verb is transitive or intransitive by determining if you have a direct object. In order to figure out if you have a direct object, you have to answer 2 questions after the verb. Who or what? Okay? Now, you will not find anything in the PP. You will not find anything in a prepositional phrase. So if you have a prepositional phrase pretty much immediately after your verb, then you know you're not going to have a direct object. If you don't have a direct object, your verb is, okay? Now, to buck. Yesterday, we labeled the word to as a preposition. So we know that to buck is a prepositional phrase. You always put your prepositional phrases in parentheses. Okay, that is what this box and this box is for. When you have a prepositional phrase, you have to determine the OP of your prepositional phrase. The OP of a phrase is always going to be a noun or a pronoun. Okay? The next thing you have to do to a prepositional phrase is determine if it is an adjective phrase or if it is an adverb phrase. Adjective phrases describe, adverb phrases tell when or where. Okay? Often came back to buck. The scene. Okay, for example, when you replay something that has happened in your head over and over again, that is a scene. You replay what happened over and over again. The scene came back to buck. Yes. Okay. Where did the scene come back to? Buck. So it tells when or it tells where. All right. Is that an adverbial prepositional phrase or an adjective phrase? Now, to trouble him in his sleep. This is an infinitive phrase in a prepositional phrase. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this is going to be just a little bit different. Okay? Now, on this one right here, you have to do opening parentheses and closing parentheses. But I also have to open the parentheses within the prepositional phrase. Don't forget that this is an infinitive phrase in the prepositional phrase. Okay? I do. No. Yes.
You can't put 2
I don't know why it's clumped up. All right, now, in your infinitive phrase, to trouble him, you have to identify the object of the infinitive. The object of the infinitive phrase is always going to be a noun or a pronoun. It's going to be located at the end of the infinitive phrase, just like a prepositional phrase. Okay? In his sleep, you need to identify the object of the preposition. Okay? Shh. Your answer choices: adverb prep inside an infinitive phrase, object of the infinitive, object of the preposition, direct object, indirect object, predicate adjective, predicate noun, verb intransitive, verb transitive. Number 2, do not answer out loud. Do not answer out loud. A direct object, object of the preposition, and simple subject will always be a blank or a blank. If a sentence does not have a direct object, the verb will be VI or VT. If a sentence does not have a direct object, the verb will be what? All right, true or false? A, and the will always be article adjectives. An imperative sentence will always contain an understood you. Review and finish.
You don't show me my grade. It says 19.4286.
1946.
I did 55.
Shh. Okay. When you finish, you are going to go back to third 9 weeks. Okay, you are going to go back to third 9 weeks, and we're going to go back to week 1. All right, we are going to go back to week 1, and then we are going to click on Thursday, January the 6th. And I want you to open up your O. Henry William Sidney Porter, A Retrieved Reformation.
Too many words going on in that sentence.
Okay?
Yeah.
I made an 88.
All right. On this, you were supposed to have read the story yesterday. Now, before I began this video today and before we did anything in this class, we read this story together outside of the video that has been recorded. Okay? What you are going to make sure is that you have this completed. Okay? You are going to have a major test tomorrow on this story. The test is going to cover the vocabulary words, the elements of plot, the plot diagram, and the basics of what took place during the story. Okay? So where has Jimmy been for the past 10 months? Prison. He got out early. He was supposed to be there for how long?
Hold on, you're going too fast.
He was supposed to be there for 4 years. Okay?
It says 10 years.
I just changed it to months. Okay? What events increased the tension of the conflict between Ralph and Jimmy? Now, here's the first thing you need to know is who is Ralph? Okay? Who is Ralph? And what does Ralph have to do?
Oh, wow.
All right. knowing the answers to these two questions right here will help you answer that original question. Okay? What does Jimmy arrange with his friend Billy? What is he going to do with Billy? He's going to sell his safe cracking tools, his burglary tools, okay? We're going to omit the next question because the pages in the book didn't line up with what I had originally set up.
You skipped one
Okay?
above that one.
No, I've gone over all of them.
Well, I was the day that y'all did that, so.
I've just gone over it right now.
Well, I was
That would be more accurate. All right. In what way is the resolution or outcome of the short story surprising? Okay. We talked about this when we read the story. I stopped and paused it. Okay. I stopped and paused it when we were reading the story. Ben Price, Jimmy stopped and talked to Ben Price. And Jimmy thought that Ben Price was going to call him out at the end of the story. But Ben Price did not call Jimmy out. Instead, Ben Price addressed him as Ralph. Okay, and that is because Ben Price realized that Jimmy had changed his ways and he was no longer a burglar. Okay? Would you have done what Ben Price did? Would you have let Ralph live, or would you have killed Ralph and brought back to life Jimmy?
I would have let Ralphie go live.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
Shh. All right. Whom does Valentine see when he gets off the train in Elmore?
1738.
Okay. How does seeing the person above cause him to have a change of heart?
Because he makes his own shop, he sells his tools, he stops living.
All right, you are going to go down and scroll and finish answering these questions. Now, this plot diagram here. All right. I did some of the plot diagram on the board over here that is not in this video. I drew it on the board. But in the exposition is basically the setting of the story. And we have already determined that the characters are Jimmy, Mike Dolan, Ben Price, the warden. We know Annabelle. Okay. The Adams family that owns the bank, Agatha and her sister. All right, the rising action. These are the events that happened during the beginning, middle of the story. Okay, so what events happen before Agatha is trapped in the safe?
There was talking and asking about marriage and talking about marriage.
Two big events that happened in between the exposition and the climax. Okay, one is going to be that Jimmy moves to Arkansas. All right, another one could be that Jimmy meets Annabelle and changes name to Ralph. I can even take it a step further and say that we need to say something about Jimmy. Jimmy opens a shoe business. Okay, so what I did to get a text box is I went up here to this box that has a T inside of it, and I click on it. And when I do that, it gives me a plus sign. I'm going to take that plus sign and drag it to make me a box. When I make a box, it has the cursor inside of it, and I can type. Okay? Jimmy opens a shoe business, moves to Arkansas, and he meets Annabelle and changes to Ralph. Okay, you didn't listen to anything I just said, did you? You go up here to this T for text box. I need for you to look at the screen. I need everyone looking at my screen. Okay, you click on that. When you do that, it gives you a plus sign. When you get the plus sign, you are going to drag it until a box creates and a cursor comes up. Okay? Now, the climax of the story is when Agatha is trapped in the safe. When Agatha is trapped in the safe, Jimmy has to make a decision. Okay? Does he open the safe or does he protect his identity? Jimmy opens the safe and forgoes risking his true identity.
Wait, have it say how long they
Okay, Jimmy opens the safe and forgoes risking his true identity. Agatha is safe and returns to her mama's arms. Okay. Now, what is the resolution in the story? What is the last thing that happens? Ben Price notices Jimmy, and Jimmy notices Ben. Ben calls Jimmy by his new name of Ralph, and lets the past go. Shh. Mm-mm. Okay. When you click save, it should post back into your document here, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. All right, you're going to go down and you are going to finish the vocabulary builder, okay? And then we didn't exactly get to this part right here, but I will say that it is not on your test tomorrow. So we may forego this part for now and address it later. Okay? But right now, what I do need for you to do.
Close out that computer.
No. Make sure that you have the vocabulary builder complete. Now, when is your test on this?
Tomorrow.
Also, on your test, you are going to have a. Yeah. You are going to have a fiction. Wait, what did you say? Yeah. Your test is also going to include fiction and nonfiction. Okay?
No.
Okay, I am going to let you use your books. But you have a quiz on fiction and nonfiction. Like, you need to know that fiction is made up of characters and unbelievable events, settings, plots, and all of that good stuff. Nonfiction is true. Okay? You need to know that you need to know the difference in a short story, a novella, and a novel. Okay? A short story is a short story. A novella is in between a short story and a novel. And then a novel is a long work of literature. Okay? All right? We have covered the terms on all of this. Shh.
Save and close.
Huh?
Who's driving his boot? Swear.
I know. Martin Luther King.
Eight, you know.